My videos have helped thousands of people get on Rise of the Resistance and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and I'm going to help you get on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Come along with me. All right, folks, I know why you're here. You want to get on Guardians of the Galaxy, so let's just get right into it. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy does have some new things going on, so we're going to talk about that first. When can you get the boarding groups? The first boarding group comes up at 7 a.m. Every single park guest can get that boarding group at 7 a.m. no matter where they are, as long as they have an Epcot theme park reservation for the day. So at 7 a.m., you can go into the app and you can get that boarding group. The other time you have is 1 p.m. You must be in the park in order to get that one. That's a little different. You must be in the park, and you must also have a theme park reservation in Epcot at 1 p.m. Now, totally new for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is the 6 p.m. boarding group. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Some of you are going to be upset. It is only for deluxe resort guests and some other select hotels. There's a great list from ALLEARS, I'll put it down below, about which ones those are. It's going to be currently available for the upcoming dates that I'm putting up there on the screen for you. Those upcoming dates are the dates that have extended hours. And on the days that Epcot has extended hours at 6 p.m., you do not need to be in the park, but you need to be able to go to that park either through a park hopper, an annual pass, or your reservations at that park. And you must be staying at the deluxe resorts or the other select hotels that are in that list that I told you about down below. You can get off of allears.net. You can get a 6 p.m. boarding group for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, only on the days of the extended hours. All right, I'll put those dates up here again so you can take a look at it. The only ones that I know about currently. More, I'm sure, will be coming out soon. But that's how you can get that 6 p.m. boarding group. You can either park hop to Epcot, you have an annual pass, or you have a park reservation for Epcot, and you do not need to be in Epcot at 6 p.m. in order to get it. But that's totally new for Cosmic Rewind. Now we're going to tell you how to use the app. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is you need to open the My Disney Experience app. Once you've opened the My Disney Experience app, then you click on the virtual queue button. Then another menu is going to come up and it's going to say join virtual queue. Click that. Then it's going to populate a list of all the rides available with virtual queues right now. And the only ride with a virtual queue right now is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. You select it, and then when it comes up, there'll be either a white or a blue join button down in the corner. If it's white, you can't join. As soon as it turns blue, you click that button and you can start joining the virtual queue. And it will turn blue exactly at the 0 when your clock on your phone ticks over. Disney does seem to be using the clock time on your phone for that turnover. So watch for that to turn blue. There is also a refresh button now at the top of the screen that you can keep pushing to see when that join button changes. They used to make you have to do a drag down refresh. Now they actually just have a button that says refresh. So you keep pushing that button. That was actually really great planning on their part because I knew people were doing it anyway. You just keep clicking it until that button turns blue. All right, once the button is turned blue, you click the button, you go in, it's going to show you your friends and family. You just verify that that's who's coming. Don't worry about that until later, especially since you're trying to move quickly. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then you hit the join button again and you're in, like Flint. All right, so you wanna make sure that you follow those quicks. You know how to run the app. You can test it right now up to the ride selection. Once you click on that ride selection right now, it just stops. It's not taking you to the screen with the join button. But right now you can work all the way up to that point if you want to practice it. On the day of release, it'll go through all those steps. You'll have the white or the blue join button once you've selected the ride, okay? The number one tip: no Disney Wi-Fi. Don't use it. Don't even think about using it. Don't connect to it. Don't use it for this purpose. I have run speed tests, and every time I've run the speed tests, it cranks down at the times when the virtual queues are going through. Do not use the Wi-Fi. Here is a testimonial from Michelle about what happens when you use the Disney Wi-Fi.
It crashes.
So yeah, that's what happens. It crashes. So the next thing you want to do is you want to find an isolated spot. You are on your cell phone, so you just walk away from the hotel if you're at the hotel, or you find a nice quiet space in the parks. Because here's the thing, if you're around other cell phones, you're part of the cell phone noise. The cell phone tower has a trouble discerning yours from the others. However, if you're separated from people, even by about 10 to 20 feet, you have a much cleaner signal to the cell phone towers, and therefore you're going to have a stronger connection. So you want to make sure that you are isolated anywhere you can go. There's plenty of places in Epcot that you can be isolated. I recommend the back of the Morocco Pavilion. I recommend near the front gate actually is a good spot. I also recommend anywhere around the World Showcase Pavilion in the back of Pavilion, but like Canada is great. Morocco, like I said before, is great. Try to stay away from the American Adventure. A lot of people stop and sit in that theater. Not Norway. Lots of people are in there, especially on Frozen. Not near Test Track, not near some of the other rides, especially not near Guardians of the Galaxy, because a lot of people stand outside the ride thinking that helps their chances getting it faster. It doesn't. But find an isolated spot. The next step is to watch the clock. On the iPhone, you can actually watch the clock secondhand ticking around to 0, and when it hits 0, the clock will tick over. You have to watch the clock. As soon as the 00 comes up for whatever time at 7 a.m., 1 p.m., or the occasional 6 p.m., as soon as it clicks over to the 00, you need to start going. And I highly recommend having the app ready to go a couple minutes, and you just watch that clock to tick over, and when it's ready to go, you go. That leads me to my next thing. Be fast, but be deliberate. Don't go scrambling through your phone trying to get to the thing. Know what you're going to push, have practiced it in advance as far as you can practice it, and just go. Do not worry about the family and friends verification. If something goes wrong, you find guest relations, they will fix it. Generally, if you're nice to them, be nice, be nice. If you're nice to them, they will fix it. If someone's missing from your party or someone extra got added, it's not a big deal. Just ignore that and go right on to the next screen, and then you'll get your virtual pass. Again, be fast but deliberate in what you press. One of the tips I give people is that the 1 p.m. boarding groups are going to be way easier than the 7 a.m. Way more people are just focused on getting that at 7 a.m. than they are at 1 p.m. And at 1 p.m., there's distractions. They're already in the park. Maybe they figured that they're not going to get it. They're not going to try. Less people try at 1 p.m. I personally have had more success with my virtual queues at 1 p.m. than I've had at 7 a.m. I have failed more often at 7 a.m. and have never failed at 1 p.m. That is no lie. So I recommend actually the 1 p.m. boarding group, and that way you don't have to get up early in order to go for the 7 a.m. one. You can try for both if you really want, but the 7 a.m. Now, I will tell you that the 6 p.m. boarding group grab is probably going to be the easiest because it's only deluxe resort guests who are either able to park hop or have a park reservation, and it's only the ones who are staying at deluxe accommodations or some of the select hotels. So there's going to be an even smaller pool of people able to get that one. Now, it does happen on random days, and they're also going to maybe not know that schedule. So the 6 p.m. boarding group grab is probably going to be your easiest bet. Now, I'm going to throw in some extra tips. These tips come from a cast member. Back when Rise of the Resistance had a virtual boarding group, I asked a cast member in the guest relations cast team, the ones that are in the blue throughout the park, I asked them what their tips were, and she told me this. So we found a guest experience team member. Her name is Amelia. She was awesome, and she solved our Rise of the Resistance boarding pass problem. And she told me this. I have some efficiency tips from Amelia that I'm going to be adding in to my new Rise of the Resistance boarding group collection, because I am now 3 for 3 on boarding passes, 2 of them in the afternoon, and I really am grateful to Amelia for giving me these new tips. Her new tips included mine. Don't be on the Disney Wi-Fi. Thank you, Amelia, for that. She also pointed out that you should have all the apps closed out on your phone that aren't My Disney Experience, and then you need to make sure that your phone is not in low power mode, because that actually slows your phone down. And if you can do LTE over 5G, do that instead, because the 5G signal in the park is not all that strong, but the LTE signal is maximum bars. So there's the Amelia efficiency tips from a guest experience team member. And Amelia, thanks a million for helping us out and getting my friend Kathy onto our Riders Resistance boarding group. Very excited to be able to, all three of us be able to ride that ride together. But thank you also for the tips. And everybody, my Rise Resistance video stands true. 3 for 3. Yes, Amelia's got some great tips. And you notice she backed up the no Disney Wi-Fi. Just don't use it. You can use it for everything else. Don't use it for your boarding group. You will regret it. As you saw,
it crashes.
Yeah. Okay? Now, if you don't believe me, you're like, oh, I'm sure you think you know how to get on the boarding group. This isn't gonna work. Here is a testimonial. I found a family of 7 when I was trying to isolate myself in the same place as me, trying to get a 1 p.m. boarding group. They had everything wrong. They were doing it on Disney Wi-Fi. They had like 7 people trying it once, and they were like rushing through the app, and they hadn't gotten a boarding group at that point. And they told me that they had tried for 3 days to get on that ride. I told them my tips. They didn't want to believe me, but this is what happened. On top of that, we have this lovely family sitting next to us, and they tried the no Wi-Fi trick. They didn't want to believe me, but they do now. So
we got boarding group 98, no Wi-Fi, isolated spot. So we did Wi-Fi at the room at 7. System crashed on us, didn't get in first time. So much better.
Yeah, 7 people, 7 people. They got 98, I got 143. We're really glad to be able to get on Rise Resistance today. And these people are awesome, and I'm really glad to have them here. So there you go. My tips work. I promise you, you will get on the ride if you follow my tips. No Disney Wi-Fi. Just saying. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you. Good luck riding this new ride. It looks amazing. I have not tried it yet, but I cannot wait to ride that ride. Hey, if my tips work, please leave a comment down below when you've used my tips and they worked. Tell people they've worked. People will get on this ride using these tips, and you giving me testimonials is great. I try to reply to each and every comment possible. Also, if you really feel this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. I really would appreciate that. Or pressing the subscribe button, because I put out tips like this all the time. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Good luck getting on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And like we always say, because we don't like to say goodbye, because we're gonna see you real soon. So we say, see you bye.